It's Redbet and we're back with a review of the French Grand Prix. The French Grand Prix was held at the Bugatti Circuit in Lemans, France. It was a great day for racing. Over 100,000 people showed up on race day, almost 300,000 people for race weekend. It's been a close season. Who's going to get the lead in France?
France? You were in France?
Let's race!
Jorge Martin takes off, but he loses the lead to Pecco Bagnaia, and Pecco Bagnaia on his Ducati settles into first place, with Jorge Martin on the Primac settling into second early in the race. The race settles down. It was an overcast day at the Le Mans racetrack in France. We started to get incidents only a few laps in the race. By lap 3, young rookie Pedro Acosta crashes out of the race. Pedro tried to fit his bike between Fabio Di Gianantonio and Maverick Vinales. He clipped Di Gianantonio's bike and went down. That was the end of his race. Marco Bezzecchi went down on lap 4. That was also the end of his race. Marc Marquez was having a great race on the Gresini. He was battling Maverick Vinales. He was able to pass him for 5th place on lap 7. He lost it briefly, but he got it back on lap 8. Aprilia is having a great day. Aleix Espargaro was also in a podium place. He was in 3rd place early on in the race. Top 5 midpoint of the race were Francesco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Maverick Vinales, and Marc Marquez. And what you could do is subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more racing videos about the racing world and people in it. Lap 12, really interesting. Enea Bastianini pushes Aleix Espargaro off track and he has to take the escape road. It moves him from 6th to 8th. Enea Bastianini is penalized and he has to take a long lap penalty after this. Turn 8 seems to be a problem. Vinales eventually makes a mistake. Marc Marquez has been charging hard all day and Marc Marquez passes Vinales after this mistake for 4th place. And then we have a series of crashes. We have Joan Mir crashing on lap 16, then Fabio Quartararo crashes on lap 17. He was having a great race up until then. He was in 6th place. Also, Jack Miller crashes out on lap 18. Marc Marquez is charging hard. He's now in 3rd place with less than 10 laps to go. Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin are battling it out for 1st place. On lap 20, Jorge Martin briefly takes the lead from Pecco Bagnaia, but then he loses it. Marc Marquez is charging hard. He still has the best lap times. He's lapping in the 131s. On lap 21, Jorge Martin finally takes 1st place from Pecco Bagnaia. This race is really close. They're still lapping in the 131s. All 3 top riders now.
It's close.
Very.
Audience was on the edge of their seats.
Everybody definitely was on the edge of their seats at this point in the race because it was so close between the top 3. Under the second between the top 3 that separated Marc Marquez, Jorge Martin, and Pecco Bagnaia. And going into the last few laps, it was a dogfight. All 3 riders were experiencing low tire grip at this late stage in the race. Marc Marquez, who has been gaining places all day, gains another and gets 2nd place where he passes Pecco Bagnaia on the last lap. But Jorge Martin comes home with the win at the French Grand Prix. Jorge Martin on his Primac Ducati was able to pull off the win. He was in 2nd place for most of the race, but late in the race, lap 21, he was able to grab back 1st place. Even with low grip, he was able to hold off Pecco Bagnaia for 1st place. This was a great race. All 3 riders at the top were under a second crossing the finish line. So we had a really close race. Congrats to all top 3. Now, we got to talk about some race notes. Fabio Quartararo didn't have a great race. You see him here giving away some of his equipment. He was in 6th place before he crashed out. This was race, I want to call it the Widowmaker. It had quite a few DNFs, up to 6 DNFs. Marc Marquez showing great performance on the Gresini this year. He's definitely going to be challenging the factory Ducati team. Also, congrats to Jorge Martin. He won this race at Le Mans. If I was going to rate this race, I definitely got to give this race a 9.5. Definitely one of the best races so far of the MotoGP season. The top 3 definitely gave us a show. Great competitive season of MotoGP. Jorge Martin is leading the series with 129 points, but Pecco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez are not far behind with 91 and 89 points. So we're going to see a lot of challenge this year in the MotoGP season. We got more racing videos to come on the channel. We have a video about a Formula 1 champion who never got to celebrate him winning the title. So I hope you enjoyed the video. More videos to come. We took a slight hiatus, but we're back. Please like and subscribe. Redbet, signing off.